Welcome to the RNR Does Stuff podcast where the retro computing, gaming, and hobbies collide.
Hello world and welcome back to R&R Does Stuff. Joined with me today, as always, is the host with the most, Ryan. And Ryan, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome.
I know. It's good to get back together again and have another moment to do a little recording. And as we mentioned last episode, this one will be after we've actually got to meet up. But we're going to see each other very shortly. And leading up to time, everyone, this is at the beginning of the podcast because it's super important. Ryan will have already submitted his A-mail project by the time this post drops. And this post will drop before the end of the competition. So Ryan, tell everybody where they can go to vote for this if they like your project and they go take a look at it and they say, hey, I want to give this a vote. And then maybe tell us a little bit about where you are right now and what's left before you submit. So I gave you two tasks. What's the first one? Where's everybody go?
I see that. There's a Amiga Tool Jam 2025. It's out on itch.io. So I will have submitted my project by the time you hear this. That's my goal, end of September. And the competition closes for submissions on October 10th. And voting goes till, I believe, voting ends the final day of October 2025. I'd love you to check it out. Love you to come see it. Shilling for the vote. Definitely doing it.
I even threw in there, right? If you like it and you think it's cool, but in reality, go vote.
Yeah, go vote. I mean, really, I don't care who you vote for. Go check them out. There's some neat projects out there. I think of right now there are looks like there's 6 entries, not including my own. And I will have mine soon. I'm waiting a little bit to get something more usable. It's pretty usable right now, but I'm waiting for a little bit more before I say, here you go. You don't need all this duct tape and baling wire to hold it together to make it work.
What are those little pieces? As I remember watching some of your videos, there was some UX stuff that you were kind of working on. There was some deleting stuff that we had chatted about. What's in the hopper to get you across your finish line?
The UX stuff's looking pretty good. Got couple good comments, and I really like where it's turning out. It's nice and clean. It's small. The deletion of email works. I just fixed a couple bugs yesterday, actually, with syncing what's on the IMAP server to what's on my local disk. I wasn't doing that correctly, and a couple things wouldn't end up deleting, so that's there. Planning on doing the settings screen here. I'm start on that a little bit today.
So they don't have to edit an INI file. You're going to give them access.
The INI file is still there, so if you really want to edit it, go for it. I'm just going to read it in, populate the settings fields, and then you click save. It'll write it back out, so you can actually make all the stuff in the GUI. Self-advertising, the about page needs to work. That definitely needs to happen. The reply to the email is not putting the subject in yet from the email, and the to and CC line are not picking up multiple email addresses. That's kind of where I'm at. CC doesn't work at all right now, actually.
Dude, but how many months has it been?
Oh gosh, a lot.
I know.
3 months.
Wow, that's really good in 3 months. And I remember, I'm going to remind the listeners, if we didn't talk about this on the podcast, maybe it was just me and you did start with, hey, let me look at this other open source thing. And I think you spinned your wheels for a month on something that you just scrapped and started over.
Yeah, I looked at 2 different ones before I actually started. And it's a skill issue right now. I don't have the skill to do all of the stuff that they put together and fully understand it. So this is me starting. I have a blank slate. I'm going to go make my own stupid design decisions. I'm going to fix those and just go build something. And I'm slowly learning organically, just like your books. Yeah, so you're slowly learning organically. And that's why I did it this way. I tried for both of them, a good week or so on each, and it was just like I can't get them to build right. It was like, all right, just need to start over. I'm doing my thing. I need to get smarter, and that's what I'm doing. And I've learned a lot in the process.
Oh yeah.
And I know there's some stuff in there where I go, what idiot wrote this piece of code? Oh, that was me 2 months ago.
Well, I think it's really awesome that you also have Larry as a resource and that you're able to talk to him about these programming tasks, and he can give you his mentor knowledge from all his programming abilities.
Yes, I mean, I've used his abilities fully. Yeah, exactly. So it's been a while. I've been really digging it. I'm really looking forward to seeing it out. I'm part of the WOG. It's a users group here, and it's in New York. It's on with Amiga Bill, and showed them a couple times now, and they've been pretty excited about it. So I'm hoping everybody else is as well.
Excellent. So I'm sure they will be.
So I'm excited about that. Oh, what we got? Wow. How are you? So that's my building. So what? You've got your network, your Ultimate 2. Have you been on a BBS yet?
Okay, that's where we left last time. I got the printing done, which is really cool. We chatted about that. We all geeked out about the old fonts. I went and started, and I got the Wi-Fi connected. Okay. And I then started to play around with the BBS clients, that are out there downloading and getting those D64s on the Ultimate. And I realized, I need to go through the Ethernet port. How about that? So I found a long cable. Really? Yes, I found a long cable. I plugged it right into my router, and all of a sudden it's great. I'm on Oasis BBS right now. That one seems to be a little slow, so it doesn't get as many updates or postings. So I'll have to grab by the way, everyone, I'll put some links in here for these BBSs, and come on there and say hi, because I'm starting to integrate them into my every other day routine. Whereas when I was a kid, it was an everyday routine. But the Oasis BBS, and then Particles BBS, which seems really active. Like I'll come back and there'll be 14 new messages, and I posted a message and 2 people replied to my messages.
All right.
So it's neat. It's good communication. The one thing that I found, and I need to hit the sysop. Isn't that great that I get to say that word again? I need to hit the sysop up. The Trade Wars on the Particles BBS is no longer accepting new players. So is it really full and people are playing currently, or did it just get full and no one's ever cleaned out the old players? Because then I went to go join some other ones and got the same message that said, no players. So I can't wait to get back into playing Trade Wars online.
You're going to make me want to go do that, because it's been a while. And, I know there's a Trade Wars, and then they upgraded to like Trade Wars 2002. Mm-hmm. And I remember liking the original, I think, more than the later one, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And it's just, I'm looking forward to seeing your experiences, and then I'm going to go connect some Amiga hardware. I already have them on the network. I've already done some BBS work, but I'm like that. I want to start playing with them some more and put that in. And if we can, there's a message routine, even if I'm sending you stuff, that's cool.
Well, I will. When you come to Particles BBS, you're going to find hopefully a pretty active group, which is what I've been seeing. And so I haven't delved into anything but the general hi messages and things like that. So, there's other boards and other places to post and, that jazz. So far, it's been really rewarding. My next step is to figure out, what do I do with the Wi-Fi module on the Ultimate? Did I just, dude, I barely read instructions. The least easiest path was just plug in the network cable and it worked. So that's where I ended up. So now I got to figure out what the Wi-Fi adapter can also do. Maybe it can work just off the Wi-Fi adapter, and I just haven't tweaked something right. So I'll deal with that this upcoming week.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that. I want to hear all about that, because I know I see you in person the week after we're recording this episode. So yeah, I definitely want to hear about it. I want to see it. I want to know what you're talking about. And maybe somebody that was at VCF West will have had this there even though we're talking in the past, even though you'll hear it in the future, that they might actually have known what's going on with this too.
That's right. I will figure out what those come to. And that reminded me, that's why I went, we've already talked about bringing extra suitcases, right? Just to make sure we're good. So we're already good with making sure we can tote something back. But did you pick anything up? Last time we chatted, I don't think we got into the swap meet that happened near you.
There is a swap. Yeah, we had the first like Northern Virginia swap meet. It was pretty decent, not huge by any means. There was about 9 people selling stuff there. I did not pick up anything. There was an Amiga 500. I saw 128 there, a couple VIC-20s, Apple IIs, ton of laptops. Some PC stuff. I know some early Mac stuff as well. So there's a lot of stuff there. It was really cool. I'm glad that it happened here. I'm hoping the person that put it together does it again. Because I think it's great for the area.
No software. You didn't pick up any box games?
No, there was nothing Amiga-wise there. Okay. I did, with a caveat, I got some 3.5 disc holders, like, the shelf.
Yes! No, like the long ones that they're about 12 inches, maybe 8 inches long, and they fold open?
No, these are, I don't know, they were probably like a foot long, and you pull the drawer open, and there's
the fancy ones.
I got 3 of those and 2 smaller ones that hold like 10 discs.
That's great.
So they were pretty cool. They had some Mac software in them.
Oh.
There's some discs on them with Mac software. Like, okay, cool. Which is fine because they're early Mac OS 7 stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to emulate Mac OS 7 on my Amiga. And so it'd be very interesting to see how that works.
Oh, whoa. We got to talk about this a little bit more. So we talked last time, a couple ago, that Amigas can emulate PC. And I think you did that one night, right? Did you kind of set that up on your machine one night?
I think so. Using that Amiga transformer, that is not fast by any means, because that's doing software interpretation, right? From a Motorola 68000 to an XT. So you're doing instruction translation, not fast.
It's for word processing and spreadsheets. It's not for playing games.
No, it's definitely not for playing games by any means. So it's not correct.
Can you take an Amiga and emulate a Mac OS on it?
Sure. What? It's great. They're the same CPU. So they're both Motorola 68000 CPUs. So that's not the issue. So you have Mac ROMs that have the Mac OS part of it in there, and you can do stuff. The biggest thing is the disk drives are different. The floppy drives are different. But there's some hardware. I know I have a card I picked up that does some extra like controller card for like a hard drive or whatever. But someone wrote software like Shapeshifter. It's just an application. You just click on it and you build like a hard disk file, just like any current emulation, and it'll boot it up, and it boots it up in a window.
I can't wait to see this, and this would be another great thing for you to take to your meeting one day when you have that running to show everyone. I bet a lot of people haven't seen that.
It's true. So I'm going to see how many machines I can try to emulate sometime on a box. So I have a bridge card, which is actually an XT on a Zorro slot, Zorro ISO bridge. So I'm going to try that, see if I can get that to work in a 2000. Problem is, I think it needs older OS ROMs to work correctly because there's some weird stuff going on. But then I'm going to put a Mac on there. I've seen a 64 emulator.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
Translation. Yeah. There's actually, I found a dongle that I've seen floating around a couple of times. You can plug in a 1541 drive into it.
Whoa! Yeah. When you need one, let me know. I'll send you one.
Right. I don't have any discs for it, so whatever.
Well, I'll send you some discs too, because I got a stack of shit. So I'll be glad to share the love if you ever need it. That was a great one. Do you know, I'm going to ask one last question on this topic. Do you know the history of that? Was this something, and let me paraphrase it. Is this something that as the Amiga was current and the Mac was current, people created that link? Or is this something that happened later in the retro community that people said, oh, I want to try and emulate Mac OS on my Amiga?
Oh, it definitely happened at the time. I know growing up, my dad had it. A hardware one. It's called AMAX. So what it would do is plug into the floppy port of the Amiga. Then you plugged in an external Mac floppy into the back of that, and you pop the top off and put the two ROMs inside of this thing. And you had the ROMs for the Mac on there. You had the floppy drive. You could plug in the Mac stuff, and you just still build a HD file or whatever. And it would boot up, and it worked fine.
All right, I got another question, and this may be one that you just go, I don't know, Rich. How did that happen that they didn't get sued to infinity? Is it because you had to have a Mac ROM, which means you own a Mac?
Correct. You bought the Mac ROM, and then you had to go get it. Then there was some crackdown by Apple, from what I read, that they wouldn't just sell the OS without the hardware in the United States, but like Canadian vendors would. So there were people importing them from other countries that you could buy the ROMs from, and there was this whole thing, right?
That is neat.
Because there was at a point where you could buy an Amiga and it would run the Mac faster than the Mac.
Oh, that is cool, dude.
They had a faster processor in them.
I love when we stumble into these little nuggets in our talk. That all of a sudden one of us hears something the other one says, and we stumble into a new thing. That was really neat. I had no clue you could play around and do that much emulation on the Amiga. It's really sad that they ground themselves into the dirt, I guess. It's really, really sad. we could have Amiga instead of like Dell Technologies. I mean, Amiga could be Dell today if they would have played their cards right. Maybe they would never have been a Dell because Dell's PC based, but everyone's getting my concept. They could be a player.
They could have been. You don't know. Because if they would have picked up, and I know they were talking about like future card thing, they were going to go to the PCI bus instead of their Zorro bus and future versions of it. That was already talked about, and just standardizing on that technology that was out for everybody else. So it could have been a thing. And I think they were going to use, at the time, I thought they were going to use like PA RISC processors instead of going away from Motorola, since that Motorola line was dead. Instead of going to PowerPC, they were going to, like the Mac did, they were going to PA RISC.
Makes sense. That's a really cool little nugget. I really appreciate you sharing that story.
I'm a wealth of useless information that I get right most of the time, I think.
Yeah. Comment and tell us below if we're off, or give us a link in the comments, or diddle or teetle us, on the emails. Just boop, 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 if you know a little bit more about that and want to share it.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So yeah, the swap meet was great. Really liked it. It was a couple miles from my house. That made it even better. So that was super easy to go over to it. And yeah, it's all goodness. So how's your mail call?
Oh, Ryan, it's all about hardware, isn't it, baby? Mail call. It's like I had a swap meet at my house, everyone. Let me go get my box.
Go get your box. So.
All right, Ryan, I'm back with the box. Okay, here's what I got. Ryan sent me back. This all started because Ryan was sending me back the track ball that I had picked up in a lot purchase that he didn't have. It was a Wyco. It's a Wyco track ball.
Yep.
And it was going to be like, hey, dude, add it to your collection. And so he took it with him after visiting one time. What was wrong with it? Why didn't it work, bud?
Unfortunately, has the one that you have, because you got it with a Apple collection, is the Apple version. So it plugs into one of the Apple joystick ports. So yeah, and it's like, well, that's not going to plug into an Amiga or a 64 or any the Atari port. As a side note, I have the Amiga version. I think will be at my house on Monday. I found one pop up on eBay and bought it.
Okay, well, thank you for sending this one back. I will try and find a new home for it.
Yes, it needs to go. It was really cool. I wanted to play Marble Madness with it. And yeah.
Let me see what else is in here. All right. Okay. This is going to be cool to play with. I can read. This is a koala pad. Look, and it's delaminating. You know how everyone at home, you know how it's a surface. You know, they put a membrane over whatever below you're writing on, and they're starting to have some delamination after 40 years. That's pretty good. 40 years, and then finally having that. So here's a koala pad. What do you know about the koala pad, man?
What happened was we picked it up at a swap, another meetup. I think it was like last year. So our buddy John and I were there, and the guy had a box of stuff. And John wanted like one thing out of this box of stuff. The whole box was like $10, right?
Yeah. The guy's like, dude, I'm not going to sell you one. You got to buy the whole box. Not because of money. He wasn't being greedy. He just needed the box to leave too.
Yeah, he needs it to not go. So he got one of the pads. He was going to see if he could get to work on his Amiga. And then I had this, and a lot of the stuff in there was in that box of stuff. And then I realized, this is really 64 things, and I have no use for that. But I know a guy that does.
Well, speaking of a guy who does, let's look at what's next in here. Here's something with diskettes and a Raspberry Pi looking thing. Here we go. We got Wheel of Fortune for the Commodore, and we got Card Sharks. One is a legitimate copy, and one is one someone made. And what's in this little bag here? This little bag of static wrap. What's in here?
You know, I don't remember, because when did I mail that to you?
All right.
A month or so ago?
Yeah, let's take a look.
It might be a pie.
Grease Weasel.
Oh, it's a Grease Weasel.
It's a Grease Weasel. Okay. Tell me about the Grease Weasel.
So the Grease Weasel is a awesome little device that you can plug in a floppy drive to. It gives you a USB port, and then you can plug it into a modern computer. And then there's some open source Grease Weasel software, you can read and write floppies from your modern computer with that device. I use it for my Amiga disk. I plug it into my modern Mac. It says, hey, read the disk or write a disk, and it'll read or write the 3.5. And I recently read a PC 3.5 for a buddy that, hey, he had his, a disc from one of his kids when they were younger, and was like, hey, I'd like to see what's going on. And I got all the stuff and emailed him the files off of it. So it was really kind of cool.
Well, I will have to try this out. Thank you very much. Well, it will not work with 1541 stuff. It's going to be for maybe more in the 16-bit world.
Oh, I think if you plug in a 5 1/4 disc in, it'll work.
Okay. I'm very curious. I'm going to have to do a little research on that one, folks. All right. Now we're getting to the bottom of the box. I don't want everybody to think it's the never-ending story here. We've got some weird black box that has a game port on one side, which looks to be Commodore or Amiga based because it doesn't have pins, and another one on that side, and it has an antenna. What in the hell is this thing, Ryan?
It's supposed to be a wireless adapter for like a joystick port, but I don't know if both sides are there.
Okay, it has. Okay. Now I see what you're saying, folks. If I look at this black box, think about, I don't know, 5 inches by 3 inches. It has an old school antenna that pulls out of the side like you used to have on your TV rabbit ears.
Yep.
It has an on-off switch, a power light, and now I see what's going on. It has a left and right control cable coming out to plug into your Commodore. And then you need the wireless joysticks that pair with this. And there are no joysticks. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't think there are. I think you're on your own.
Yes, but it's a neat thing to have, and maybe someone might need it, or maybe I'll find the controllers one day, and it can come into play. So great. Oh, and everyone, a buku of cables. Ryan, I did one of those boxes from VCF Retro Meetup here. And I wanted a couple things. The guy's like $5 a whole box, but you got to take the box. Right. I had some cables in it too. I got some cables in here, and I think there might be one left. No, that's it. All there is cables. And again, some are nice and clean. Some look like they need to be cleaned. But when you need a serial cable or a monitor cable, these things are priceless.
Great. So those are cables that came in the Barn Find collection you sent to me, and then I sorted them out and went, these are 64 ones, and I sent them back.
Okay, so this didn't come from the box of stuff. This came from
No.
the Craigslist adventure that we had.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, that's why they look kind of grimy, because they came from the barn.
Oh, and I was going to say, if anybody checks out High Shelf Rich on YouTube, you can poke around for Ryan and I going through the barn find. I think it took 2 episodes to do that.
I think so.
And
Yeah.
we were out there for like 3 hours, bro. And I had Ryan remote on FaceTime or whatever, you know what I mean. He was dialed into my shop. And so we had a really good time going through all those stuff and telling stories. So if you want to know more about that, it's out there.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was neat seeing everything. It's like, ooh, what did we end up buying? And it's like, all right, then you slowly sent it to me over the next couple of weeks, I think, which is fine because that gave me time to stagger things.
Yes, that was it. And then we got the boxes. We had almost a completely successful shipment, except for that loose IO drive. We did really good.
Yes.
I did really good. Rich.
Good job.
But that's always hard to pack all that stuff and try to get it home without it all being cracked up. I mean, I see those eBay stories where someone's like, hey, I bought this. Look how they shipped it to me. And they're getting a 40-year-old computer that's now chipped and broke from just improper packing. So, but yes, that brings me to a close, Ryan, on all this stuff. I know we got some adventures coming up, and we've got a lot on the plate, and I'm kind of glad this week was a little slow. I didn't play with micro adventures. I just kind of got a few little things here that we chatted about. Otherwise, I can't wait to see you in about a week or so.
Yeah, well, it'll be just slightly under a week. Looking forward to it.
Oh, that's right. I'll see you on Friday. The one
Yeah.
coming out. Yeah. This is Saturday. Not that anybody knows, because this will post on Monday or Sunday or something. I don't know. But
What I remember, honestly, it'll be fine. It's around the schedule-ish kind of thing. You know, we're enjoying life, and sometimes things get delayed.
that's right.
Well,
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on another retro talk through and sharing of our lives. TikTok or tip tap below if you got any comments. But otherwise, thanks for listening.
thank you all. Have a great day.